Hello and welcome. This is Anubis, also known as Lee, and today I'm going to be doing a quick review of the Ysiop Tri Spinner. And hopefully I'm saying that reasonably well. There wasn't much else to the name. This is another item I purchased on Amazon and is another one of the all metal rainbow spinners. I was actually pretty excited about this one. Look wise, it was pretty decent online, so I thought it'd be pretty cool to pick this one up as well. But after I opened it up and got a feel for it, I actually kind of ran it on outside and took it to the studio and cleaned it up and had to do a review of it real quick before we do anything else today. So anyway, let me go ahead and crack this open. Let's see. So I have already opened it, but it's in a zipper here. Sorry about that. Taking it off screen. Was in this little plastic wrapper here, but you don't need to see that. Looks real nice. It's already been cleaned. Really didn't notice any machine oil on it, but I went ahead and I cleaned it anyway. I did get a question on the last metal one I did about what I'm cleaning it with. I'm just going based off of my own experience with bearings and on what people are saying online, which kind of coincides with that, which is just use like isopropyl alcohol. These are not weight bearing, and we're not, I don't live on a coast, so I'm not worried about them. We're not worried about friction. We're not worried about them heating up. This isn't a car engine or anything like that, so we don't need lubrication, and we're not really worried about them corroding. So we're just keeping them clean. We just want them to glide smooth. Let the bearings do what the bearings do. So I'm using isopropyl alcohol just to clean them off. All right, real quick, I just wanted to go over what was in the bag here because I did miss this. So in the bag, there was actually a screwdriver here. And this is this is just kind of typical. If you've bought stuff from China, this is kind of just a typical generic mini Phillips that comes in a lot of different things. I just wanted to show this off real quick because this actually looks like it could be a pretty cool little thing. It looks like it's just something you can use in case you actually have something wrong with your bearing. There are actually Phillips head screws in this bearing here. Hopefully you can see that. I know it's really reflective, but it looks like this is replaceable. Now I don't know how one goes about replacing this, if you would just get one from the manufacturer, or if the idea is to replace it with one of your own. But you do have that option to replace that bearing, which is cool. I'm going to use this other one I had purchased previously as kind of my comparison, because this is somewhat similar price points at it was $18 when I purchased it, but apparently that was a sales price. It's actually $20. You'll see this actually has no way to replace that bearing that I can see. There looks like there might have been some place here. I don't know if the camera is picking this up. I'm kind of hitting it with my fingernails there, but there's kind of like some metal plugs. But they've been sealed over, so there is no way to change that bearing if something does go horribly wrong with it. This becomes pretty much a throwaway, where this one, it is actually replaceable, either to be potentially, I guess, upgraded or replaced upon damage, which is really nice. So once I realized the screwdriver was in there, I actually pried that open again and took a closer look and thought that was worth throwing in. So I'll make sure to put this in. So hopefully that's something also worth noting for y'all. But I'm telling you, I mean, this thing, oh boy, this one is butter smooth, absolutely butter compared to the last one. And I mean, it looks really nice. Bearing feels really good. It's really quick and easy to start. The weight distribution's way better. As I'm sure you can probably tell, these the weights all out here in these. I don't even know what you would call these. I'm sure they probably have a technical name for them, but these little ends, these balls out in the ends, it's all out in these. So it's probably, I would say the weight's probably about the same as the previous one, but it's definitely better distributed out in the ends. So it's pretty nice, pretty smooth. I haven't done a maximum spin test, so you'll kind of get my when I do the spin test here on video, you'll get to see that for with me, like for the first time with me, I guess I should say. But anyway, I will do that here shortly. But overall, I'm pretty pleased with this thing. Honestly, it's definitely really nice. Let me give it a nice little flick here. Give you a close up. But yeah, I'll now I'm getting mesmerized and a little distracted. My ADD is taking over. I apologize. So I'm gonna do one thing slightly different from the last video. When I do the test here, let me get this on out of the way here. When I do the noise test, now last time I did it purely on the table. Now I did that for a reason. The other one was off balance, and by doing it purely on the table, you got to hear not only the bearing, which was fairly loud, you could hear it whirring. And actually, I'm going to, I've got the other one here. It's right here. I'm going to take my mic. I have my mic here just so you can see. My mic is here. I'm going to spin it in front of the mic. You hear that? So that is the sound of it without the table. That is just the previous one that I reviewed, just spinning, just the bearings. It was loud enough that being on the table you could hear that, and I thought that it being on a table it'd be fine to do that. You could hear how off balance it was. It was vibrating really bad. This one here, what I'm going to do when I do the test, because it's not nearly as off balance, I'm going to do a test on the table again so you can see how bad it vibrates. And then I've also got a cork board over there that I will do a spin on so you can hear purely the bearings as well. So we will do that spin here in just a second. I also just kind of want to try to give like final thoughts from the very beginning, so you don't have to stick around for the whole spin test if you don't want to. And my final thoughts, honestly, this one is more pricey than the previous one. And honestly, materials and stuff, this one gives slightly more information on its materials. It lists itself as alloys again, but it does say that what it is that it is, let me see if I can kind of show you this. It's that steel ball bearings. The other one was steel ball bearings as well. It just says that it's made of alloys, quote unquote. What alloy? Who knows? I mean, that could be any old metal. But that it is titanium coated, which is nice to know. It kind of gives you an idea of what its scratch resistance will be. Titanium being a hard metal, it will be scratch resistant, and should hopefully mean that that rainbow coating should stay on really good. I don't know if the same can be said about the other one I've got, but that is a very good thing to know. Then that is listed on there. This one right now on Amazon is listed for $30. Oh man, that thing is so smooth. It's quiet too, much more quiet. I don't know. There's so many good things about this one so far. I would say probably I think I'd buy this thing again for $30. I like this thing. It's got a really good feel, really smooth feel to it. No burrs. Tactile feel. I really like the feel of this thing. I really do. The look of it's really nice. This kind of brass button thing in the middle. I love that. I like steampunky kind of things, and this for some reason kind of hits something for me with the steampunky thing. I don't know why, but I like the brass button in the middle. Yeah, so look-wise, it really does it for me. The smoothness, how well it starts the spin is really nice. It seems like it spins for a good while, but I haven't timed it yet. Like I said, you'll get to see that here in a sec. The silent wise is kind of up to you. You'll hear here in a second how silent it is. My coworker's actually spinning the other one that I just did the review last time of. The one that I just did that I just brought up to the mic a moment ago that whirs really loud. My coworkers actually said they really like that sound. They prefer that louder whir, that they found it calming. I agree. When I'm at my desk, I like to hear that whir. I like that. And so for when I'm alone, that's kind of a selling point. The problem is when I'm in public, it makes me self-conscious. And for a calming toy, that's a bad thing. So for an in public thing, this is going to be my go-to. This would be better off. And so I think, for me, final thought, this thing, assuming that this gets a good total spin time here in a sec, I'm going to say $30. I'd say go for it. But here we go. We're going to do a spin test. Hopefully, I'll make sure that the camera's good and zoomed in. I think the last time I did this, it felt to me like the camera was a little too zoomed out. But let me pop the mic down here and let's get a feel for how loud it is and see how she looks when she spins. I might give another quick polish too, but give me one sec here. All right, first spin test. Hopefully this doesn't dance out like we did with the last review. Here we go. Alright, well if that's any indication, I might end up being out here spinning for the rest of the day. That was quite a long spin. Okay, so for the next one, my thought was to try to spin this. I was thinking of different things that we could do that might silence this a little bit. And I was thinking of doing one of these cork boards that we got laying around. So I don't want to interrupt it. I really want to. I'm kind of wanting to just fidget just a little. I just want to fidget a little. Hold on, I got this. We gotta dual fidget a little bit. We're gonna dual fidget just a little bit. All right. So, my goodness, I want to say this one might be going close to 4 minutes. Is it still going? Gracious. I was thinking about a minute ago. I started talking thinking this thing was going to be done. And it's still going. Boy. Okay. Here, I put the cork in the shot thinking it was going to be done. Come on. Jeez. All right, here we go. And done. Okay. All right. So let's see if we can get a feel for just the bearing next. See if we can get that centered. I don't know how this is going to show up exposure-wise. So I apologize if this looks really odd. I hadn't really measured my white balance and stuff with this in mind, obviously. We'll give this a try and just see what this ends up looking like and if this silences it. Okay, so here we go. We're going to try this out on the cork and we'll see if this silences the vibration a little bit and see if we can get just purely the bearing noise. All right, so let's see if I can get this started good. And here we go. Okay, so while that's finishing up its last little bit of spinning, so my quick observation is that the vibration was low enough that on the tabletop there was a little bit more noise, but even on the cork, it was still there wasn't that much of a difference. So if you're of the mind that you like to do any kind of tabletop spinning with your fidget spinners, I'd imagine this is something you would be able to do with this and not be terribly annoying if there's other people around you, which is a good thing. But yes, there wasn't that much of a perceivable difference to me. When I took a few steps away from the table here where I've got everything set up, which I did both with and without the cork, there really wasn't much noise. So that's pretty cool there. I will do a flip here in just a second. We'll get a feel for the sounds and the spin times both without and with the cork. I apologize for anybody that was pressed for time. This video is definitely going to be long, so you don't have to stick around for it, obviously. This is completely optional at this point, and if nothing else, you can just get to see how pretty this spinner can be. But, I'm sure by now you've probably been able to kind of decide whether or not this is the spinner for you, if this is something that you enjoy. But you'll at least be able to see, if you stick around, you'll be able to see if there's a performance difference between the two sides. As you're probably aware, these spinners do tend to have a performance difference due to the way that these bearings are designed between the two different sides when you flip them. So let me go ahead while I'm talking here. I'll get this out of the way. We will do a flip. And go again. Okay, so that one went for, to me it looked like just about the same amount of time. So let's get that back on here. And switching back and forth twice now, I did pay a little bit more attention to the difference in sound. And yeah, there's definitely a bit of vibration there still. Alright, here we go.